Meeting April 10th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Melbourne.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Censor.
Here.
Milburn.
Here.
Wolfson.
Here.
Ostergren. Russo.
Here.
Approval of the agenda. I would like to add under unfinished business, the lake level control structure visit. And Commissioner Russo, for a B, the lake level control structure time, he wants to comment about that.
So moved, Madam Chair, with said comments.
Time. Okay.
Letter to inform the public of why lake levels are. They are,
Letter,
just to keep the public informed what we're gonna do.
so C, letter to the public.
As amended, Madam Chair.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call?
I'm sorry, what was the letter to the public regarding?
Why they're seeing the lake level in Houghton Lake the way it is.
Russo.
Yes.
Milburn.
Yes.
Wolfson.
Yes,
Censor.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Higgins Lake, delegated authority update.
On Higgins Lake, the permit was, as per the resolution, was sent in to Eagle and was accepted, and they're reviewing it. That's where we stand right there with the permit. Recently found out that the USGS gauge, and Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, should stay online till 9:30 of this year. So that would be good to compare that and correlate that with the new gauge system. We have one gauge at the structure, which was already said, and there's been another gauge added, halfway between the Silver Dollar and the West Boat Launch on the shoreline there, a little creek that comes in. It doesn't freeze. So that's where the second gauge on Higgins Lake, and that data should be up. I'm hoping to have that data up by the end of the week. Questions?
I have one. On that location over there by the creek, does that creek flow 100% of the time year
Yes,
round?
I was
Okay.
assured it does not freeze in that location.
Yeah, but I mean, there's water going through it. It doesn't dry up sometimes? Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Houghton Lake.
All right. We got the proposal, I guess. Are we going to sign off on that? It's a question to you guys. Is that good to accept the proposal for design? Structure? We pull the trigger on that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I believe it's up to the delegated authority. He just kind of, we've had a chance to overview it.
Yeah.
And we've had no concerns.
Pull the trigger.
I'm okay with that based on the information that you've given us and reading over the proposal.
All right.
I'm good with it.
Okay, cool. I will sign that and get that back to them. Okay. And then advisory board selection. Advisory board was selected from the applicants, and we're still waiting on some of the townships, right, Darlene?
I believe we're still waiting on Markey to confirm their selection and Lake Township. We did hear from Roscommon and Denton. Once we hear from everybody, then everybody will have a list of who is on there. And
So far, ma'am,
for which, do you want to know all of the townships?
please.
Okay. Do you want to read them or you want me to?
You're better with the last names than I am. to be honest.
I may slaughter some of the last names, but Lake Township shows Robert Beatrice and Robert Sikorsky. We're still waiting on the actual township's person that they're going to appoint. Markey is Tom
Antos.
Antos and David Scheinman. Roscommon is Chris Trebelhorn, William Nuremberg, and Kurt Beechna. And Denton is Jenny Van Dynen, Michael Blasky, and their appointment was Ed Wotan.
Wotan. Yeah.
Wotan,
Madam Chair,
yes.
did they get us contact information for that gentleman?
I have asked for it, so, yeah, so that I can forward it to Chase. Any questions on anyone? I don't know a lot of the people on there,
After
but
they confirm, can you send the commissioners an email?
Yes, I will send an email with all the names. Yeah, I'm hoping, Lake just had their meeting last night. So have it hopefully by the end of the day today.
and I'd just like to remind everyone that the advisory board is currently about discussion of what type of control structure might be best for Houghton Lake. That is their main focus right now.
Yep, and that's the main thing. So my plan is before we have a meeting, I want to send out a simple questionnaire once I have all the names, of just saying what would you like to see, maybe some examples of some structures that have been talked about, just kind of gather information and then go from there, where we actually have a meeting. So I can kind of direct the meeting in a way of what they're looking for and that line.
Any other questions? In Houghton Lake. Lake St. Helen.
Okay, Lake St. Helen, I'm working with the SAD team to set up the role for the SAD. They're working on getting an RFP out. I've talked with Rex about this. We're going to add a kind of a secondary requirement in the RFP to maybe propose a structure that would not be as extensive as a lake level control structure. That would be almost similar to just a generic spillway. And the thought of this is to make the construction of structure a little cheaper. I don't know if you have anything more you want to say on that, Rex, but
Other than apparently Eagle was enthusiastic about doing a spillway versus a dam.
that's my understanding. Yeah.
Any questions?
And less expensive.
You want to help me there, Rex?
Probably about 1/4 of the cost. We're guessing, you know.
Why is that? I'm not trying to paint. Why would?
A lot of it has to do with how we demoed the old one
Okay,
and not having to haul it away in this method.
Well, yeah, you only have a 20-foot easement in which you have to work inside. So the simpler you make your structure,
Mhm.
cheaper it's going to be, because you only have 20 feet in which you can work.
And
For
that lake
materials.
it's different than the other two lakes. I mean, just setting at the legal level for somewhere, it'll probably control itself.
okay.
And then also we need to design that we can reduce the height by 6 inches and no more for winter level, which would be an automatic thing again.
And I appreciate your explanation. I just wanted to know exactly.
No,
why.
it's an idea, but what the idea is when you send when you go out for RFP, you say, you know, a design for a new structure, but there's also this idea we want you to look into and give us a price to look into this alternative, I guess.
Will it have the basically same shelf life?
I have a longer one.
Longer.
I have a longer shelf life.
Sounds good to me. Thank you. Thank you both.
Anything else?
Unfinished business, control structure visit. Commissioner Milburn has repeatedly asked this board if we could visit all 3 lake level control structures. I would like to be able to schedule that for May 8th if possible, which is one of our meeting dates. I will get with Jody and see what we can come up with. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there as a possibility for that date. Yes.
Appreciate your consideration. My recommendation, and again, I'll leave this as a decision of you and the vice chair, but about half an hour per structure in time so the public will know when we're going to be there, so they can ask questions of us. So I don't want to spend like an hour at St. Helen, but only 15 minutes at Higgins. So my recommendation would be half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever you deem necessary. Then we publish the times and dates so the public's cognizant of when we'll be there. Thank you.
And we have to take into account travel time also, you know, Mark.
Again, you guys figure it out, but I would say.
Getting to Houghton Lake one might take some time now.
Yeah, what do you guys come up with?
Madam Chair, would
Yes.
that be in lieu of the lake level control structure meeting that day?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know that so we can post that for the public as soon as possible.
Okay.
Right, and it needs to be posted, and we really need the times, so that way, if the public wants to meet us at a dam at 2 o'clock, they don't show up at 3 o'clock and find out that we've already left. So we have to be very specific about our times. We have to take into consideration, like Rex said, travel times, but half an hour, 45 minutes per structure, I think would be adequate.
Sure.
Yes.
We'd also have to publish some kind of a map for the public.
Les,
Finding St. Helens not as quick as you think.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was thinking for the commissioners.
No, I mean, for the public, if we're gonna have, if the public's invited, we probably need to give them some kind of a map to know how to get there.
I appreciate that. Whatever you guys come up with is good with me. The big thing is schedule times. So Michelle doesn't roll her eyes, because it would be difficult to keep that under time limit.
Okay.
Right, Michelle?
I would
Yes.
say 20 minutes top at each control structure. We didn't spend a lot of time there last 2 years ago. It's only so much to see and talk about.
My recommendation is 30 minutes, but whatever you guys come up with
Yeah.
will be fine with me. I'm just throwing out a recommendation.
All right. So then, Commissioner Russo, lake level control structure time, you had some concerns and wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I would like to change these meetings from noon to 8:30 in the morning. Where we come in here, it doesn't take that long to have these meetings. Have the lake meeting at 8:30, work session at 9, and the regular meeting at 10.
I'd go with that.
This way, we're not keeping IT here later. Michelle, people have things to do and we're taking up. That's gonna be 1 o'clock for the employees. It's gonna make it easier for Chase. He's a working man. He doesn't have to spend half the day here. So I would like to start this in May if we don't do the bus thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Bottom line is, it's not fair to the public to have to sit around.
Yeah,
We're trying to be, part of our job is obviously, we talk about the transparency issue, we also have to, meetings should flow from meeting to meeting, not a herky jerk. An hour and a half wait between meetings is too long for the public. Quite honestly, it's not fair to the staff.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
does that meet with your schedule?
It meets with mine, but I want to double check with Michelle and Jody on what their thoughts are, because they are part of these meetings as well.
Honestly, I would prefer the 8:30 if we want to have a set time, because in my office, I have staff rotating who's doing the minutes and they monitor the meetings in the office. And one of them is scheduled to go to lunch at 11:30 and this is her month. So now the other person has to cover watching the meeting and making sure that keeping track of everything. So 8:30 would be better.
In that case, I'd make a motion to make the switch.
Well, I don't think you really need a motion, Rex. You just need you guys, the chair and vice chair, to make that decision. And I don't think it needs, I don't need a motion.
Yeah.
Then I'll make a motion. Well, I'll second Rex's motion.
Gonna vote on it then.
We can vote on it, but we only meet once this month, so, do we have to write it out? Or can we just
The motion is only to change the time to
Time.
8:30.
changing it from 1 PM or, I mean, 12 PM to 8:30 AM?
Correct.
Okay. So you made the motion, Commissioner Billenberg, second discussion?
I dropped my kid off, so I should be able to make it by 8:30.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of a time crunch to get everybody through the door at 8:30, so
Yep.
I should be able to make it.
All right, roll call then?
Russo,
Yes.
Censor,
Yes.
Milburn,
Yes,
Wolfson,
Yes.
motion carried.
And then we have letter to the public, Commissioner Wolfson.
Yes, in the last meeting, we discussed, and we were given a letter that we wanted to publish, so the public had an understanding of why Houghton Lake lake levels are what they're seeing now. And everybody's had a chance to make comment or contact Jody about it. And I think it is time to move forward and publish that letter now.
I'm fine with that.
you want to sign by the board or you want to sign by the chair and vice chair? It needs to be signed.
By the whole board.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so,
Say by everybody.
because it was a board decision.
Any further discussion on that? Public comment or any public comment?
Yes. We have David S.
Yes, this is Dave Shinneman. I was selected for the advisory board. And I'm sorry I didn't notify Chase about accepting the thing. So I just sent him the email saying thank you for selecting me. But I do have a question about, I did hear Chase say that for the lake level thing, there was a proposal for design. So it sounds like the structure has already been decided. So I don't understand how it's already designed and decided if we're just starting to meet as the advisory board. I didn't know if he could clarify that a little better for me. That's all I had. Thank you.
They're just gonna come up with some designs on what the advisory board comes up with. I mean, it's just getting things in motion right now. And it's just accepting a bid for them to go ahead with the design when we get to that part.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to follow up on a couple of things. So I will follow up with our security officers, with Lieutenant Beck, because we will need to, if the meeting starts at 8:30, we will need to actually open the building at like 8:15 that day. We are staffed for that, so we will let them know and make them aware of that on that first Wednesday of the month. And I did get an email last week. I did confirm with Steve Du Bois, our director from Transit, that we would be able to utilize their services for that. So if you're, the question was, what time would you like to be picked up is what I need to answer. So
What are we thinking?
It's time to eat lunch.
No, what's that?
Have to allow us time to grab lunch before you take us
Yes.
out for the afternoon too, so please. I don't want to be hangry.
Do we want to say noon? Would noon or 12:30? What do you think, Michelle? Because you have a better idea of the
Well, it depends
employees.
on your agenda that day, your meeting, your regular meeting agenda. Because we have our meeting that day, so just based on the work session today, you're gonna have items for April meeting, but then that's gonna be the last meeting before the filing deadline for millages. So it's gonna really kind of just depend on your agenda. So I would say 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that, because your meeting should be done
Since you have
11,
all that
11:30.
going on, why can't we take this tour in June when it's a little bit warmer?
I don't think you can accomplish it in a half a day.
I do. I think if we left at 1.
Yeah, it only took us a few hours last time, Rex. That's driving around and everything.
Let's shoot for 1.
The minibus took us last time, like 3 years ago. And by 3 o'clock, we were done.
Because if Chase just gives an update like we kind of did here today, I mean, we're only 20 minutes in, the meeting's almost over. So other than drive time. Any other public comment? With no other public comment, then I move to adjourn. All in
So
favor,
moved.
say aye.
Yeah, last time.